Today I'm going to be talking about the new Harry Potter television show that is The Philosopher's Stone. The first season is just The Philosopher's Stone, no more, no less. And I'm going to be talking about the Snape casting. Snape, as we know, is a white working class hero, both in the books and the films. In the TV show, they've gone for a black actor, so he's going to be a black working class hero, which I think is an inspired idea. At first I was like, and then I stepped back and said, it's British. Hogwarts is set in Edinburgh. This is about Britain. It isn't about the race relations that happen in America. It's a British series, so having a black Snape isn't actually going to be that much big of a deal, I think. And what I find fascinating is Alan Rickman, who was the first ever person to play Snape. The reason they've chosen a black actor, who is a very good actor, is because they wanted distance from the Alan Rickman portrayal, but also Alan Rickman was playing a character who we didn't know the ending of. He had to go to the vindictive J.K. Rowling and say, I don't know how to play him, I need a little bit more information. So she told him the big secret, and he had to keep that under wraps because it wasn't in the books yet. He was the only person besides J.K. Rowling who actually knew where Snape was going, which helped him play that part to perfection. I really am hoping that the new guy is going to do just as good a job. I'm liking the costume design. I'm liking the fact Alan Rickman's costume was buttoned up. This Snape is zipped up. And as we know, Snape comes from a working class home. His father is a muggle, his mother is a witch, respectively, and he lives in Spinner's End, which implies to me that his dad works in some kind of mill / factory of some kind. What must it be like to raise a child that you know is going to leave you? Because that's what happens to magical children born to muggle parents. They can't stay with them, they have to go to Hogwarts. So is that going to show some resentment there? What I am hoping is in the new series that they actually do some deep dive into the relationship that Tom Riddle has with Bellatrix, has with Barty Crouch Jr. and has with Severus Snape, because there's a reason why these three are his favourite Death Eaters, because they are all advanced wizards in their own right, and witches within their own right. So I find that fascinating. But another thing is the fact that the new Snape's costume is a zip, so he's zipped up, buttoned up, yeah? But also it's almost like with the zip, he's saying, I'm not ashamed of my muggle heritage anymore when Harry meets him, the fact that he's wearing a zipper. I think that's fascinating because we know at one point he was. So that's my viewpoint on the Severus Snape casting. I don't think it's going to be an issue because it's set in Britain, it's not set in America. I fully get why you would think what you would think with, you know, James Potter being an absolute idiot and dangling him above. But children are nasty to each other. They really are. And Snape does not ingratiate himself as a child. And it's what I find interesting is the relationship between Petunia, Lily and Snape, because those three have known each other since they were very small. So when Petunia's talking about, oh, that awful boy, she means Severus Snape. She doesn't mean James Potter because they didn't know him yet. They knew Severus Snape, who was that horrible little working class boy, you know, in the rags that Lily was going and seeing, because they had a shared connection. And I'm hoping that we get a little bit more of that, because it looks like we're going to be getting a little bit more of everybody's backstory. And I'm really excited to see Tom Riddle's backstory on screen, if we ever get that far. Because remember, we've got to get past book one. A lot of people saying that we're only going to get 3 seasons of this, and that I can get, because season 1 is, you know, everybody sort of being not proactive but being acted upon. Book 2 is being proactive. Book 3, everything changes because we become 13 and these start to be young adult books. And from book 4, the darkness really envelops. And if you're actually going to be book accurate, it's a book about 14-year-olds that is really quite dark and murky. Then the next book's 15, 16, 17, and then we're fully away and we are in young adult territory. It is not a children's story. Because I remember I read them as first generation Potterhead, so I grew up with them. I was about, 12 when I read the first one. I wasn't 11. And every year I could see the more adult themes coming through. Giving it to an 8-year-old, it just isn't right in my head. It never has been. I'm like, Harry starts at 11, therefore you should read them from age 11. But that's my personal opinion. Other people may differ. But yeah, they are young adult books once you get past book 4. There's no way around it. Anyway, I've spoken enough on the Severus Snape casting. I think it's going to be exciting. Am I going to watch it? Probably not. I'm probably just going to sit back and see how everybody's kicking off. Anyway, ta-ta.